All right, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming here. We're on an episode of everything we do. Today we're going to talk about an uncomfortable conversation. An uncomfortable conversation that contains some topics or a topic that is very not poked at all the time. Female accountability, the lack thereof. You know.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to say about that? Well, the lack thereof.
That's it.
I mean,
That's the intro.
I mean, that's what I'm going to do right now.
That's what's up. You the boss.
Tag you in.
You the boss. Lack thereof. Well, it's like a denial, and they make it seem natural. So when it's time to own up, you know, they put the mental sneakers on, be out. But
Right.
with us, everywhere we turn, every breath we take, every heartbeat that goes on, we have to count them. Marble scales is now, they gotta be more balanced.
That's because we're not equals. In a relationship, when you're dealing with man and woman, we're not equals. So it's always going to be a tip and scale on things.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like that though.
That's because we let it happen that way. Well, they gave us a reason to make it happen that way.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes, I completely agree. You guys are the reason that there is no female accountability because you have allowed females to get away with it. We're taught from way back, just starting from the beginning, okay? We're females. You guys have to pursue us. Yeah. You see me, I don't come across the street to you. You come across the street to me. Me personally, I will come across the street to you. If you smell good and you walk by me, I'm going to say, hey, what are you wearing? You smell really good. However, we are taught that you guys, let's just take, for instance, dating. You pick me up. You pay for the meal. You hold the door for me. You do this, you do that. When we get older, we get married, I stay home. You make all the money, and then you bring it home to me.
That sounds like SOP to me.
And then I'll take care of the bills. I'll do this, I'll do that. But it's all about the roles. And there have been roles for too long. So when a woman who doesn't care to have a man take care of her, then we're looked at funny. But it is your fault. You know, not you two personally, but it is the male gender. It is your fault because from way back we are taught, even going as far back as put your coat down because there's mud on the road.
Oh.
So that I can walk across.
Oh.
I don't care about your shoes.
I always wondered about that. What you do with the coat after that? You walked all in the daggone puddle, dirty puddle.
Well, it's like
grab your arm and we walk around that joint.
Yeah.
I ain't taking my coat off. I'll do all the other stuff.
Ooh, why you not gonna take the coat off?
I just said it in the beginning. I'm not ruining my coat for 2 steps when I could just extend my elbow.
But you
That's
do
the
know
new
her
coat.
job was to buy you another coat, right? You do know her job was to buy you another coat, right?
It's good. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I'm sure you haven't.
That's why I ain't responding.
Her job was to buy you another coat.
That's the fantasy side that we don't really go into.
But it shouldn't be a fantasy.
Exactly.
Ooh.
It should not be a
Exactly.
fantasy.
Well, the problem is y'all have a problem with putting your thoughts actually in perspective. It stays up here all the time.
And we're expected to see.
And we're not mind readers.
And you allow us to do that.
No,
so you need to open your mouth and go, girl, what are you thinking? What are you talking about? What can I do for you? No, you are expected to read my mind until you don't.
Oh.
It's that simple.
Oh, who told you that?
Until you don't. I told myself.
You shouldn't be talking to yourself in a minute.
That's
but
me.
anyway. Well,
No, until you don't. It's a vicious cycle and it will continue.
So let me loop it back. So you said that we supposed to walk across the street to come say hi. You know?
Not me personally.
I got that part.
Okay.
I'm going with your metaphor.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
So the problem is, what are we walking across for? Because men are visual aid creatures. So when we walking across, I'm walking towards something that I have an intention, I have an understanding when I'm walking towards, and I have to rectify, like, actually, if it's good for me, bad for me, dangerous for me. Like, I have to be aware of my surroundings before I just walk towards it. So, my question is, what presentation is women nowadays have to make a man want to walk towards them?
First of all, I think it's a crapshoot because you have a lot of men, and in my experience, who don't put that much thought into it. I am famous for saying everything that looks good to you is not good for you, but not a lot of people think like that. You see something that looks good, you're going across the street.
Oh,
Tongue out panting.
okay.
Thank
Oh,
you.
like a pit bull in the basement. I
That's
got
the
you.
nature
Okay,
of it.
all right.
I had this conversation before, like even in nature. And I'm literally using an example when I was looking at some nature things on my phone, and the mating time.
Ooh.
No matter what the species is, the male has to put on a good enough performance to get there.
Okay. But the accountability part that we have a problem, that is the issue, is that now they don't care about if you walk across the street. That's the problem. Like that you don't have to walk across the street. They're gonna get our attention somewhere somehow, right? So when you get our attention, or you put us in a position where we are recognizing you as an individual, the problem is, when do we start reading your mind? The day of or days from now? Because the day of, you already had a plan before I walked over here, what you was going to do with me already set, because females that don't have accountability have a cap and a barrier. You ever heard that one before, a cap and a barrier? I think we talked about that at one time. See, a woman that has a cap has a certain limit because she know how far she's going to go with this man, right? Because the way it's presented to him, the way she sees him, he could do this, he can look like this, he can have this kind of car, blah, blah, blah. She has a cap. But a barrier means, it's like a barrier, I'm going to say more like a boundary. So that means it's a certain area he can't cross.
Yes.
Because if he can't cross it, that means we limit him to a certain understanding. Because if he begins to cross these boundaries, then he'll learn more about us that we're not ready for him to learn. Because boundaries is more of a new level, new devil type thing.
Right.
But a cap situation, you can reach up, you can reach down, it's 10 levels. It's like mic check, Level 1, you go here. Level 2, you go 3. But it's a cap when you hit a certain level, and then you can't really go no more. You hit the top. But
I agree with everything you just said, except the very first thing that you said was, when do we start to read your mind?
Yeah.
That's a question you should never have as a man.
Ooh.
Why do I have to read your mind? You shouldn't even have had that in your head. This is what I mean. The mentality for me, the way that I see it, is you guys have to do all the work. And some men are so fine. We don't mind doing a little work. I don't mind doing a lot of work sometimes. But what I'm saying is,
your fellow sisters.
that right there, yeah, I know, my species, I know, I'm sorry, my gender. But that shouldn't even have been a question for you. When do I start reading your mind? The day after I meet you? The day of I meet you? 10 years down the road? Why do I have to read your mind? Because you're not putting forth any effort to read mine.
Oh, so it's energy levels. That thing.
Again,
Here we go with
that.
So since you have a standard operation procedure, maybe we need to have a standard operation procedure. That's what SOP means.
No, there's no indefinite way to put it. It has to be. We have to have it.
Well, we have to be a man to do it, because a lot of us are boys putting on man's shoes that, quite frankly, don't really.
That's a whole nother realm.
Not really, because y'all, some of y'all women are not real women. Y'all are just grown girls, and that's not.
And that's the same realm as men not being considered.
But you're taught to be moms from when you're like 7, 5, and when you're playing with Barbie dolls and babies. You're taught to be moms, but you're not taught to be women yet. That's kind of ironic, because we're not taught to be men until we're actually doing manly things. Making money, fixing things, cutting grass and things like that. We're not held accountable for manly obstacles until we have to do manly objectives.
Okay.
So.
can I chime into that?
Yeah.
Because I love to play devil's advocate. I
You wouldn't be who you are.
I am outside of the cookie cutter woman thing.
Okay.
I think our parents and our adults who um have raised us sort of map out who we are. Now, I grew up in a home where my grandmother was the boss. So I don't have children and I don't want children. So
Okay.
I did not grow up being a mommy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did grow up with the Easy Bake Oven, but I can't cook a little bit. So that's a whole different thing. But I think your perspective comes from because they're our first teachers. That's what we see. That's what we learn.
Mm.
So I grew up watching my grandmother do everything. Change tires and I've known Will for a long time. So I have an impressive toolbox.
Mm.
I'm not a damsel in distress. I don't want to be, but that's what most of us see growing up. That's what we're taught. That this is what a man is supposed to be. It's all about the role, and you guys fit into it. And if you
we
don't,
have to fit into
exactly. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you.
it. If we don't, then we got you have alternatives.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you have options.
you have options.
Oh, see what we got. They got options. We got the situations and they got options.
I used to say all the time, men wake up hoping, women wake up knowing.
Ooh, that's deep. That's a little deep. Right
Until you find that man
there.
that you do wake up hoping. So this is the thing. It can reverse if. I just want more men, especially black men, to know that you do not have to be at, a woman's beck and call. I don't like that men wake up hoping. No,
It shouldn't
I
have
don't.
to be like that.
It shouldn't.
So where should a female think her accountability should start at on her day one?
Oh, well.
Oh, hit her. Oh, okay.
Because here's the thing. I don't.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Come
All
on.
we're doing, I don't think this way. So I can't. I have to go into my repertoire of friends.
I mean, you got a
that.
lot of tools in your toolbox.
I have a lot, and I have an impressive toolbox.
Okay. It's not Black and Decker, right?
It's better than DeWalt.
Thank you. But
Make a tool man jealous.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
She got that freight.
Got real tools.
Yeah, real tools.
Real tools.
Yeah,
Okay. Ain't no
not girl tools.
just
I got tools.
So where can they start at?
You start at the beginning.
At the beginning of what?
At the beginning of before you cross that street. Here's the thing. When it comes to, for me, it's gonna boil down to
presentation.
Respect.
Okay.
Right. I'm not gonna come across the street and put on this huge show for you. You didn't do it for me. Why can't we meet halfway in the middle straight?
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
risk getting hit.
Okay.
So, thank you. You're worth me risk getting hit. So, you need to be worth me risk getting hit. The thing of it is that I just don't like. It all goes back to me. For me, it all goes back to respect. Just like you said, your question was, when do I start reading her mind? When does she start being held accountable for her actions? Day one.
Okay.
Just like she's expecting you to be held accountable for your actions from day one.
Let's fast forward a little bit. Let's take it right now that we have got past the presentation. We have gotten past the risking of it all, and now we're going into depths of understanding each other. Now we're going into the opportunity of, well, babe, let's build on things. Well, with building on things, you have to put yourself out there of understanding what you're building. So we're going to start from our foundation. Foundations in relationships are hard to find accountability of because I could put cement here, but you want brick there. I could put concrete over here, but then you want wood over here. So how do we find compromising and accountability in a relationship when it comes down time to building? Because grasping the understanding of once you're past your 1 to 2 years, going into your third year is like almost knowing that things are reconcile. Like you have your first 2 years, you're getting an idea of what you're actually with. You have an idea of it. You're moving into your third year. You move into your third year of where it has a complete picture. You done filter, you done stayed in all the color of the lines. Now you're having a picture of what this person is. Now, moving into that, where are you accountable for if some of the color is outside of the lines, or you didn't have time to color in all the lines? Do you move forward, or do you pause your relationship because it hasn't got to that point where you're staying in all the lines? Where's you accountable at?
Why
Like,
would you not have time to color in the lines?
we could have been having too much fun.
Okay.
We got past the
Freshness.
yeah
That's good.
And then it becomes normal.
standard operation procedure.
So like you stop saying "excuse me" when you fart.
Or I stop
Right.
opening your door when we going out.
Right.
Like I will open up every door when we're going into a building, but you're gonna open up your car handle door because I didn't hit the unlock
We
button.
stopped doing what we did to get them,
Right.
to keep them.
Right. So are we held accountable because we stopped, or we held because we're gonna hold accountable that yeah, babe, you cooked in the beginning, but now everything's takeout.
You're held accountable because you started.
Oh.
See, this is the thing. When you get past that freshness, if I may use your term, when you get past that, and you're saying you've colored in these lines, and you're getting to know the person that you are with, all of the things that you did to woo this person, holding the door open and all of that. Okay, when it's not so fresh and it's stale, first thing she's gonna say, "You're changing."
Mm.
But what about when women stop combing their hair? Because we do. You get comfortable. What about that? I think it has to.
Then that's when I was sliding in and be like, hey babe, I got this appointment for you. And
Yeah.
like go
But
ahead.
see-
You gotta be careful with that because that's the attitude. They can tell us.
We take offense.
They can
Yep.
tell us stuff like, "When you gonna get your hair cut?"
Around the same time you
But
gonna get
then
the
if
back
you
of your
say,
head curl.
if you even look at her like something wrong with her hair, attitude.
Oh, but you know why? Because we're not fitting the bill. That's what that is.
I was gonna say, and that's the thing. You want my hair to look a certain way. You want me to dress a certain way. Why aren't you buying it? Why aren't you buying his?
Mm.
Okay, I need to get this out of me because it's like bubbling up. I need to tap on men's engagement rings. Why don't we see them? Oh, he better have me a big rock, this, that, and the other. I hardly ever see a male engagement ring. Are you guys not worthy of engagement rings? I'm just curious.
I never knew men had engagement rings.
Are men engaged? Do you get engaged?
Yeah, but I don't remember me getting a ring on that. I don't remember
Why
getting a ring on it.
Gave her one.
I'm just saying, like, I don't remember. You ever remember a man getting an engagement ring? You ever got an engagement ring? You got engagement ring.
That's why I'm sitting over here chilling. Because as soon as I did it, first thing out of her mouth, "We gotta go get you one." I said,
As
"What?"
it should be.
I said,
As
"What?"
it should be.
Okay.
You never even heard of it. This is what I mean by when I'm saying it dates all the way back. It's the roles. It's.
Oh, and these were the second words. If I'm walking around looking like I'm spoken for, you gonna be walking around looking like you spoken for.
Oh, okay.
I ain't say nothing to her. Okey doke. That's what's up.
What else?
So now that we are building on things, we have to have symbols to put in certain things that we're building on. That's what you're saying.
I wouldn't say have to.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you just said
it's the brainwashing,
oh,
tradition, and all them other synonymous words.
oh, okay.
That's
But
what
if
we
we're
taught.
doing it should be done across the board. I think. If you're giving me one, I should be giving you one. It's only fair, and yeah, it's time for men to stop.
Hold up, for everybody that's going to be viewing this, take this wrong. We not saying that the dude gonna end up at the wedding with a damn solitaire and a band. You ain't gotta be 2 rings. You take your engagement ring off, put your wedding band on. All we rock is the band. They rock the 2-piece
Okay.
or 3-piece, whatever kind of way they
Oh,
put
you
it.
just had to make sure you put
Yeah.
that
You
You
surprised.
always have to
I
keep
don't-
it masculine,
I
right?
don't put nothing past nobody on levels of intelligence. People will misconstrue by honest mistake or honestly on purpose. And
Okay.
honestly on purpose to me usually results in a
Asinine.
thank you. 'Cause I don't say a much raw word.
Asinine
You gotta
situation.
keep my man's editing thing down to a minimum.
This is good. This is good. This is like each one teach one. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
That's me being a
That's
chick.
story of my
Oh,
life.
okay.
Sorry,
If
never
it's
even
not
thought
me,
about
man, I
it.
get headaches sometimes trying to find the right words so that it doesn't get what I'm trying to say don't get misunderstood.
Mhm.
But then my facial expression caused the misconstruement. Like,
Yeah.
you can't escape it.
So,
You gotta put it out. You cannot escape, to
Yeah.
me, the dumbness.
oh, okay. So the
of-
accountability is the mass energy we put into our intelligence factor to realize that our relationship is heading in the right direction,
Mhm.
going in the right direction, or going in no direction at all. So once we pass our third to moving on 3 to 4 years, by the 5th year, we should realize that our relationship should have that complete understanding that maybe our life is going to be compatible to live forever. So now we're thinking about marriage. Now we're thinking about foreverness because we done got over the humps of some things. I have a clear picture. I done went back, erased, or try to put some lines around the areas that I miscolored,
Mhm.
you know, because I stayed out the lines a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So now I done went back and adjusted, threw some little magic eraser on there,
Yeah.
put some elbow grease, and then
Don't
now.
put too much pressure. You gonna smear it.
Oh.
This is wax.
Oh, okay.
This is-
Okay.
This is wax we're trying to lift off this
Wow.
foundational paper.
Okay. So now that the relationship has now got a solidarity foundation, you know the hardest part next. Reintroducing doors and windows. Because not everybody decor is your decorator. Not every decorator knows your decor. I'm going to say that again. Not everything is decorated. Not
You
every
like that
decorator.
I'm
is gonna have
silently
decor.
liking that. You liked it, so you had to say it.
I did.
You sound good to yourself.
It's not real good.
Yeah.
But it's the truth.
But it's facts.
It's definitely
Yeah.
facts because how you like to have things decorated is not how you like to have things decorated. How you like to have your decor is not the same way I like to have my decor.
Mhm.
Because understanding what we're building is going to be presented to the world.
Yeah, because I'm not sleeping in no pink flowery bed sheets.
Yeah, okay, but
Mhm.
remember this: when you're dealing with accountability, we need to hold women more sustained in accountability.
Mm.
I'm gonna say yes.
Mm-mm. That word was too soft. See, she turned towards it.
Right?
That word was too soft.
Maybe the
This is
flow turn.
uncomfortable conversation.
The reason why I said sustained is because you ever been horseback riding?
Mm-mm.
You ever been horseback riding?
I have.
When you're holding on to the horse and when you're on the saddle, it goes by your movement, right? But you have to sustain a certain level of comfortability or the horse will know that you're uncomfortable. It will know by your posture, your grip, your pull, your tug. Just trotting along takes sustainability. So I'm working it around because you know where I'm about to go with this, right? You know where I'm about to go. So women today don't know how to be accountable for their stabilization because what they're trying to stabilize is not what we try to stabilize to maintain a certain rhythm or how our relationship is going to go. Now, I said we're past the part of the cupcake years, the sweetness. We're past the 3 to 4. Now we're working on foreverness. You know, that 5-year mark is a real hard mark of knowing that, hey, this is who we are.
Right.
This is what we're going to do. This is who we're going to be. Now, that's not saying we're going to be the Jacksons. We're not going to be Harrises. We're not saying that. We're just, this is who we are. We're Power Couple Team 2. Because Power Couple Team 1 will show up even before or after us. But we're always in competition with other couples to let everybody know, to solidify that our stabilization is going in the right direction. Because when we send out invitations, they can be like, oh, you know what? I knew they was going to be together forever when I first seen them, because when we had that game night, you know what I'm saying, they beat us a couple times. And I wanted to pour gasoline in their room or whatever, but I ain't do it, you know what I'm saying, because they beat us real bad. You know, that stabilization, that understanding. But I feel like a lot of understanding when you're stable, when you have something stable, you have to be ready for the unexpected riding a horse. It could be a bug that cross, because the horse see things that the rider don't see. Right. So when it starts to startle and move, hey, okay, calm down, man, calm down. It's not. Tell me what's going on. So you pull the reins a little harder, or you loosen them up, or you pop the sides of it. You gallop a little bit, get that trot going on to get a rhythm. So when we're in the relationships and we have that deeper understanding, but now our accountability is moving to a place where it's forever. When do we transition because we're still applying. Once we engage, we're still applying on both sides. Ain't nobody passed qualification yet. We're still applying to the point where we understand that what we're dealing with forever is something that will always have a common ground to come back to. Because when it's, don't choose me on the good days, choose me on the bad day. When my stabilization is not stable, because I need to find a way to get control and to understand your accountability for our relationship. So give an example. We're now engaged and you run into your ex after like an amount of years that you haven't seen them. Mm-hmm. And they want to...
That always happens.
That always happens, right? It always happens. So now
Never when you by yourself.
And now that you're talking to them and you're engaging in conversation, they want to know how you're doing. And you done told them all the progressive things you have done in your relationship. You know the hardest part about that part right there? Is that when it's time to walk away. Because if it's, you know what I'm talking about. So if that's you got funny. A good relationship and the person see you happy and see that you done have elevated, escalated, like you evolved past them, they're going to be like, so let me test that theory. Let me see if that's really happy home. So, so let me get your Instagram, your social media, your phone number, text you, because they can't just walk away from the conversation because they got to know how you got there. Right? Mm-hmm. So what do we do about that?
Nothing. Why anybody going to wait for the perfect time to exit stage left? Just peace out. Like people be doing like, oh, would you look at the time? Gotta go. Yep. That's okay. Just bounce.
Okay.
You ain't gotta work your conversation down to all right, I'm out.
But let's be real
here. It never
here.
gets there.
You know it gotta be worked out sometimes. It has to be.
What's gotta be worked out?
Because I mean, you know that come on. You know how that you just gonna do me like that? No, you just
one of y'all gonna think that.
But we're not mind readers. Remember, she keep what she said. We're not mind readers.
You have the wrong chick sitting in this chair.
Oh,
I gotta come in.
Come on.
I'm wondering who's taking so long.
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm trying to be courteous.
No,
I'm not normally, but right. Oh my gosh. It's so much to unpack right now. I've been trying to hold it in. Okay, Woo. I need to start with the horse analogy first. Okay.
That was a limo ride. That was as long as mine.
Yeah, they're talking, about, I get it. It's a metaphor, and we're talking about it. The very first thing that we have to do when we're meeting in the middle of the street. 'Cause we
Okay.
come across the street together. As long as you have to pay attention. I have been in relationships before where I was with somebody for a long time. And then, that's over and done. And then I'm with somebody else who I have not been for longer. And he knows me better than he knows me. People don't take time to get to know you. I have to chime in on the freshness and the sweetness and all of that. That is where, if we're talking foundation, that's where it starts. And if you allow a woman to be a damsel in distress, and this is what you're doing all during these sweet years and everything, when you get to your forever relationship, that's a person that you've allowed her to become. So what is wrong with you when you don't open that door for me anymore? This is what I'm saying. The accountability has to start from day one with both parties, or it's always going to be unbalanced. Always going to be unbalanced. If I am on my horse and there is a bug that comes by and my horse gets startled, he already knows I have him. Don't even worry about it. This bug is not going to bother you because I got you. Just like I know if you're riding me, lack of better words, and the bug comes over, I know you got me. I know the restraint. I know you're going to hold me. I know you have me. So years later, when I see that ex, even if he is looking good,
Okay.
like you said, peace out, I'm good, and don't try to test that because it will not work.
Okay.
So if you are linked together from the beginning and you evolve as a couple, and of course, there are going to be bugs that come across the road, of course. Nothing's perfect, but I think if you have that trust and that understanding, you have to understand the person. Even when you want to hit them in the face with a shovel, it's still there.
Oh, okay. So since you said that,
This is base.
let's flip this a little bit. We're talking as if we're working towards a stronger, more meaningful relationship, right? So let's flip it a little bit. Let's talk about when things are not working towards a meaningful relationship and they just in a damn relationship. So, given this scenario, you meet someone, you vibing out. We're young and dumb, and then now we forget condoms, and we bring a little person to this world, and yeah. So I don't really know if you can stay inside these lines or whatever, but if you can't, the accountability of us being in a relationship, fake family, or we're trying to write the word family out, but it keeps coming out fake because it's not family. We're trying, but I'm sleeping with this person over here. She's sleeping with that person, or she stopped combing her hair. Her breath smell like a box of puppies. It's really real around here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little strong, bro. It's a little strong.
A little? A box of
Yeah,
puppies?
yeah, it's a little strong.
Don't worry, people these animal loving people out there. They ain't literally putting no puppies in a box. At least you're gonna punch the holes in the box.
Yeah,
They'll be able to breathe.
Yeah,
You know how sensitive they are.
It's a little rough. And that person is just completely living there every day, and then all of a sudden their relationship goes left. They knew it was going to left when they stopped understanding or wanting to understand someone.
Putting forth effort.
Yes. So as a man, we should be accountable. Yeah, we know damn well I should have just pulled out. I should have not let that drip off a little bit like it should have. And the problem was I just did an 18-hour shift, and I shouldn't have took that shower right away.
Choose the right one or pick the kitties up.
Because at the end of the day, we are held accountable as men with females because of the choices we make, with knowing these choices are either going to have more consequences or more success. Because what choice we make determines the outcome she's going to give us because she multiplies it. That's her job. Our job, yeah, because whatever we give y'all multiply it. That's what they said in this book. It's like this big, you know, it was wrote by this dude named Constantine. Well, it was actually translated. A couple other people wrote it. But we're not going to get into all that. We're just going to.
Another episode.
Yeah, another episode. So it's just one of those things where you want to understand that our job is to make sure we're choosing the right path for ourselves with our other person, because I don't want to be down the road and I realize like the young lady I'm with, or I'm in a relationship with someone and I realize that my baby can't spell too well. Because, I mean, if I put a baby in it, you know, my kids will have a learning deficiency, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be one of them situations where I forget that Magnum or Trojan was not working.
You don't want to be that parent with the dumb ass.
I don't want to be that parent with the dumb ass kid.
But that is so realistic. People don't think like that, and they should.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like I keep giving her a change to go to the store, and I'm thinking I'm going to get my change back because I know I gave her extra 40 and I don't come back with my damn change.
I'm a grammar and spelling freak, so yeah, I can relate.
You know,
to that,
I don't want to be one of those
I
situations
relate.
where in my cupcake sweetness phase that I realized I overlooked it because it ain't all the good coochie coupons that I learned on P-Valley. If y'all haven't watched that show, it's very good. Coochie coupons. It's new to me. Yeah, coochie coupons. I heard it's old. It's a little old.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like before we knew that Coke was yayo, it was called Doogie. Did you know that?
I was
It's called
not aware
Doogie.
of that.
Yeah. But we're getting off topic. But
You
yeah,
get
it's
happy when you do a little bit of research.
a little bit of research.
It's a learning process here.
Learning thing. So I feel like we're in this relationship that we had an idea that it was going to go left, but so now I didn't choose to do right, and yeah, we got a little one now. So, babe, how does babysitting thing gonna work? Because I work 12-hour shifts at night. You work 8-hour shifts on the day. So they can't like $900 a week?
It's expensive.
That's what it feel like.
Yeah,
It's
right.
expensive.
But if we don't work out, you know, and you don't get this, you know, relationship together, we're going to break up. Yeah,
As you should.
right. Sure.
Because that's a toxic situation for the little one who they had no fun in that shot. They had absolutely nothing to do with it. So
They just should've-
sometimes you have to walk away. People are so afraid to say, I'm alone. And there is a difference. I have had to say, because I have never been married. I have had very few relationships. And I like it that way. So I have always had to say there is a difference between being alone and being lonely. You do not have to be with somebody. And I would much rather walk away than stay. And I don't understand people who say, oh, I'm still in it for the kid. But you're in a toxic situation. What are you doing to the kid? It's not what's best for the child. So leave. But I'm not a parent. So it's easy for me to say. I just want to.
But we're parents.
I just want to
We're
tap in on that
parents.
too. So
We're parents, and some as a father, me personally, you leave, we break up, that's fine. Kid stays. You know why? Kids understand their originality, and their originality is what defines their furthermore. Because the original state is that mommy and daddy are together. I'm used to waking up to mommy and daddy.
Right.
And now that mommy and daddy not here, furthermore, I still have my room. I still have the place that I know I can run to say, this is my toys. These are my things. This is because furthermore, mommy may be gone. Daddy's here. Daddy is still here.
But what about if daddy leaves? Then what?
Furthermore,
Okay.
daddy's gone. I still have my room. I still have my toys.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the originality is what they always going to revert back to. The originality is that, hey, Ma, when dad come home?
Mm-hmm.
You be like, dad don't live here no more. Why is that? Like, what did he do? Why did he leave? Is he in trouble? So how many women are prepared to answer that question? what did he do? Because did he do something or did you not do something? Did you do something and you did not do something?
Right.
So are you really not going to answer the child, or you're really not going to address the situation? Because one of them is going to get an answer. The situation on the child. The accountability is on you. Because when you made that decision to leave, or I leave, we didn't think about how it was going to affect the furthermore. Now, you have fathers out here that, okay, you can go, we can break up, but you have a room in my house too. You have toys in my house too. So all you're doing is switching your originality to your furthermore, not reverting back.
It's like you splitting it.
There you go.
You got the same benefits on both sides of the fence.
As you should.
As
You
you
should. You have two
should.
parents. It should be
And I
equal.
actually had to do that recently. Like I told y'all before. And I was so proud of my oldest boy for calling me. You know, they was coming up for the weekend. That
Right.
weekend, you know, surprise party. You know, for their grandma. But they were originally gonna go and see if they could stay with their cousin. My oldest boy took it upon himself and called Dad. Like, what's up, Dad? I'm like, what's going on, son? I got a surprise. We coming up this weekend. He knew I was gonna light up. Over the phone, he could see the light. That's why he worded it that way. Because he knows whenever it's them, that's all it is. It's
As it
just
should be.
them. People get mad at me because I don't answer my phone. If I don't answer my phone, one or two things is going on. My boys are with me, or something bad happened. If I don't answer my phone. But if I tell you, yo, my boy's coming up this weekend, you should already know what it is. Leave me alone. But he took it
Respect it.
upon himself, getting back to the point. He called me and was like, Dad, you know, we coming up and we was going to stay with, you know, cousin. But I want to know, can we come stay with you? What? You actually put that in a question?
Right.
That should have been your natural assumption. But I'm glad you did what you did, though. I'm glad you did what you did. But for future reference, make this your natural assumption.
Furthermore.
The furthermore.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know?
Okay.
Um,
So is the accountability of that when you had that relationship in an original state, you didn't solidify that or make that stable?
I wasn't stable. Now that I am, I know I am now because he made that call. If I wasn't, he would have known that.
He
And
recognized.
he wouldn't have made that call. Regardless of how many years went past that I, you know, missed in their life, you know,
That's such a nice scenario. I like that.
It does.
you know,
It is.
you know,
That's cool.
you know, I'm seeing it. I'm the one playing catch up.
Okay.
You know, because of the years I missed. I know they're grown. I know they're on their own living. I know they have their own jobs. I'm mega proud about that.
So
What they're doing now, at their age they're doing it, I'm just now getting that.
but are you instilling in your originality with all your things that you got going on now? Are you making sure they recognize when they're in a relationship to knowing that they have to meet that person in the middle of the street
Yeah.
to understand why you meeting that person in the middle of the street
Yeah.
and to know that this is going to be the cupcake years because that's
You
the
don't
way
tell them everything.
see
You
They
can't.
have to make
They
their
have to. No,
mistakes.
they have to learn. Yeah, that they have to learn. I've never seen a person learn a lesson without a mistake being involved.
I call it practice moves. They have to learn to practice the moves that I gave them. So that's how I
Yeah.
look at my son.
Yeah.
So I could tell him a lot of things. So my son looks at me. He think I'm the toughest guy in the world. Like he think that I'm just so hard, like the toughest guy in the world. I'm not. I'm a very well-rounded man, but I'm watchful of things. Before I'm never looking for a fight, but I am ready when a fight takes place.
Yeah.
And
Carefully prepared.
yes, because there's
I
been
just came up with
times.
that one just now.
Okay, that's Richard Allen. There have been times within a relationship that I didn't had never took an account of what I didn't do or practice because it wasn't taught to me. Because the way I look at a relationship with accountability is that the woman, everything she says is right. Because I was raised by my mother. My dad didn't play no part in anything. My dad swapped women out like he swapped drawers. So when you do that, in my mind, that there's no accountability at all. Because what you don't get here, you get there. You don't get there, you get there. You don't get there. There's no original. So it could be any furthermore. Because he could just hit restart and it could be original again somewhere else. So,
Shake up the Etch-a-Sketch.
yes, because he never wanted to stay in the lines. You know, he didn't want to find stabilization on that horse. He doesn't want to make her accountable for not being able to carry out her vision that she see past the 5-year mark. You know, when you're past that part, knowing that you're having kids and a family, because our family ain't fake, we're a family. So it's one of those things that we have that lack of. He didn't want to put forth. So when I tell my son, and I tell him when dealing with relationships, is that you have to find your moral compass as a man. But you got to be careful how you put your compass together. Because if your compass is not balanced, you will never know what direction you're going in. It gotta be balanced.
I think I'm not a parent, so I can only speculate. We have an obligation to be held accountable for ourselves and have whoever we're dealing with to be, straight with us. But even more so with children that we bring into here. Because like I said, our parents are our first teachers. This is where you get it. Like you said, you don't question anything because you were raised by a mom.
Yeah.
I had a situation. I had a friend, and her husband ended up leaving her. Her daughter at the time was 12. She had 3 boys, and one that was older, 2 that were younger. Her husband left her for her best friend of forever.
Wow.
She cried for like 6 months.
Hey.
At work, at home, on the bus, just anywhere that she went. And I felt really bad for her. I could only empathize because I can't sympathize because I've never been in that situation. So I try not to do that. But at the same time, I'm like, what you're showing, you have to stop this. Your daughter's 12. And what you're putting out there is, this is what happens when a man leaves me. And if this is, it could very quickly become a pattern because this is what my mom is showing me. You're also showing these 3 boys that, okay, you go, you sleep with somebody's best friend, you leave, sure, she'll cry for a while, but you still go on with your life. I mean, he decided he wanted to have absolutely nothing to do with any of these children. And you had been married for so long.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So there's an obligation of what you are allowing your children to see. And
But she should be held accountable.
No,
for
I mean her.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying,
because
her.
homegirl didn't get there on her own strength. She got there with assistance. Because
Absolutely.
her curiosity wasn't fed or introduced on her own accord because she's your best friend, not your man's best friend.
It's like somebody sleeping with your sister.
Right.
It's unacceptable, is what it is.
Yeah.
But to show her that when somebody leaves you, you just go weak is not what you need to show your 12-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? So what happens when you get down the road, somebody leaves you, you completely fall apart.
But as a man, we need to think about our furthermore when doing that, when our relationships go wrong, when we have little ones and a family, about our furthermore. Furthermore from this means that you can still call me. We still have a relationship. I still come past. I will still spend time with you, whether your mom got a new man or new not, or not, or a girlfriend, or whatever her next situation may be. I'm still going to be that original state to your furthermore.
Yeah.
Because I'm held accountable for the baseline that I gave you, that you were stable and comfortable in. You felt safe. You have that room.
You can't talk to the possible stepdad the way you can talk to your own dad.
Right.
And you shouldn't have to.
And yeah,
Say that one more time.
you can't talk to your possible stepdad. That's like you're not married. You might get married on everything we're talking about, on all levels of the relationship. That dude that's not your biological dad, you're not gonna open up to him the way you can open up to your biological pops. And I had that situation too. It is true. I mean, sometimes mom can't get through. Because, and there's nothing against moms, but when you're dealing with sons, it's the same as daughters. Daughters not going to go to dad for certain things. They can only go to mom. So moms have to understand that about their sons. Mom, I can't come to you for everything.
Yeah.
But I know you're there no matter what that thing is. You're the sympathetic one. You're the nurturing one. I don't need that right now. I'm a male. All of that right there that breeds softness. And you go out here and you can't do things as a man without crying about it. It's like you hear all these young dudes now, they arguing and fussing more than the girls are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what they grew up seeing.
Because they don't know the accountability of not. Okay. The accountability of not having that strong conversation with a woman. Because first of all, we were not taught until we got older that you don't have to argue with
If
them.
at all. If at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to
I was
argue.
never taught that.
Why are we arguing about this? First of all, why are you raising your voice in our house? Why are you raising your voice in this situation?
Speaking, how is this more one person's house than the
Yeah,
other?
where has this came where this was acceptable in our
Power.
like foundation?
Power.
Where do you think you?
You can love them to death, but
Because
you
you
still
brought
want
me
that
in
power.
here and you let me put frilly curtains and pink flowered bed sheets, and you said absolutely nothing. So this is more me than it is you. How dare you talk to me like that in my house?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I am not paying one bill, but how
maintain.
dare
That's
you
fine.
talk
You know what? That's fine. You know what?
Even if you
don't have
like
to-
even and that's both sides covered with one statement.
It is, but
Whether you paying half or you not paying anything,
Yeah.
you're still that person.
yeah,
You're the
because you
boss.
put that pink sheets in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It comes so it turns into a forced boss thing
No.
instead of what's already natural.
You forgetting the real.
She's
You forgetting that the new stuff. The receipts.
the receipts.
The receipts. You forgetting the receipts.
And you gotta say it like that too with the receipts.
the receipts.
You know,
I got
With
receipts.
the crispy S sound. I
got the receipts.
I got receipts. Okay, well I got paperwork on it. It's called a certificate of marriage.
Oh.
What that do? You talking receipts? I'm talking certificates. Step your game up,
I
lady.
mean, I got certifications.
Now you one of them dudes. Not me, never me. But now you one of them dudes who get the pillow and the cover tossed at you.
Whoa.
Sleep downstairs.
Oh.
Go sleep on the couch.
Can I please say I
Please
don't
do.
understand that?
I would never be that dude.
No, this is our bed. If you have the attitude, you go
sleep.
downstairs.
Yeah.
I have never understood that.
For real?
Yeah. That's how it should be.
That's how it is?
No.
That's how it should be? Oh,
Why shouldn't
hell.
it be?
I'm light skinned, so this is what
Ain't got nothing to do with complexion.
yes, it is, because it's the
It's got to
conception
do-
in the
now we about to
complexion.
get really
Okay.
raw. It's got to do
It's about to get real uncomfortable.
It's got to do with levels of manhood.
That's exactly what it is, because I'm not going no damn well
If this is your
in our
manhood,
house in another part to sleep, because if I slept here constipated, if I slept here, if I slept here constipated, if I slept
I'm
here,
sorry, I keep hitting
if
this
I
thing.
slept here well, if I slept here when I was
first
happy,
thing constipated though.
first thing constipation, because constipation had you balled up like this. Okay, so if I slept here sad, if I slept here happy, and I slept here constipated, I'm gonna sleep here pissed. Okay,
You're not
Can't
pissed
deal
if you
with it,
sleep.
then you leave.
exactly.
Give yourself a couple minutes. As soon as you go to sleep, you ain't pissed no more.
Yeah. Oh, how about this?
We can put some space between us, but I'm not leaving my own
I'll
bed.
be back, and by the time I come back, you should be asleep. And if you ain't sleep, I'm going to sleep. Because I'm not going to sleep downstairs. Nowhere.
And you shouldn't.
And-
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you keep giving that power to that stabilization, that's how you think that relationship's supposed to ride.
Exactly.
It becomes
So
a dictation
it
instead of a
becomes
relation.
accountable that it's okay. If you always bring your relationship back to the time when we were crossing the street, we realized what we were sacrificing.
This is when you started it. When you went all the way across. No, you meet me in the middle. And then that way you can never look me in my face and say,
That's big fast because that happened to me before back in the day.
Okay.
I did this, Jester.
Oh.
She did this, Jester. And I liked that.
So you
I didn't know
that.
why. I didn't know why, but I liked that. Oh,
because
word?
it's the way it's supposed to
And
be.
I walked, and then I stopped. She walked, and she stopped. And where we both stopped at, we was right in front of each other.
And
just wasn't
you
no street,
fast
though.
forward all these years, and you can never look me in my face and tell me go downstairs and sleep on the couch. This is no. We're in the middle of this bed like we were in the middle of the street.
Right.
You know, if you allow it to just fester, and then as soon as you deviate away from it, what is wrong with you? You know,
Okay.
why are you changing?
So now we have the
Women are gonna hate
perspective.
me. I
We
get
have
it
a
all the time.
perspective of a female accountability in a relationship that's making progression. We have somewhat of a of an idea of a relationship where no female has accountability when things go left, when they go wrong. Now, our last understanding of a female accountability has to deal with this one situation that is so uncomfortable. I made it the last tip of the spear. And about it is when you're ready to understand the kind of family that you want to have a legacy with in your relationship, what you want to stand for. When it comes time to bury you two, how do you think the accountability that a woman has, a man has, that left a legacy on your relationship, how do you think how do you think it should be read in the obituary? Like, how do you think it should be read when they read your eulogy in your marriage, your relationship? How do you think it should be read?
You want to go first or me?
I'm still putting the whole question together.
So the question is, when it's all said and done, whether if y'all
both of you are deceased, or just one of you?
just the relationship in general, it's over now.
Oh, you saying the death of the relationship?
The
I'm
death
with you
where
in the
it
metaphor
ended,
now.
because we
I'm
talked
no
about the
longer
death
lost.
of a
I'm out of the
relationship.
woods.
It's okay.
I
It's
didn't
okay.
see the metaphor. I'm literal first.
It's okay.
Y'all
It's
know
okay.
I'm literal as a mom first. To put my metaphorical
I got you.
side on. Okay.
I understand. So we talked about the good of accountability and the bad of accountability. Now we'll talk about the accountability as a whole. So when the accountability as a whole and everything's been tallied up, what does that mean at the end of it when they're reading the eulogy of the relationship? What does that mean to you? Like your whole overall, without the detailed information slid in, what is it going to say? Like for the accountability.
Well, I can only speak. I've only had like 2 true relationships, and with one of them, when it's over, and it was over due to fear, mine, because I don't do relationships, but when I was talking to a friend of mine, a gay friend of mine, and I was telling him, he's like, "How are you dealing with this? How are you handling this?" He was the only one I told at the time. And I was very surprised that it affected me the way that it had. But I said to him, my metaphor to him was, if there was to ever be an autopsy, I'm going to jail for murder because I killed it.
Dang.
It was me. I killed it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you have to.
That's real.
You know what you do.
I'm saying damn because of how raw that and real.
That was raw. That was
Yeah.
raw. That was like,
Yeah.
You know what you do. You know.
So you said, wait. What you going to jail?
Yeah, because
I'm
she
saying
killed.
for the.
She killed.
Oh, because
I
it was your
told-
fault
yeah.
out of the fear.
If there's
okay.
an autopsy-
you
Yeah,
can tell me
I'm-
towards the end
Yeah,
because I'm starting to slow down.
It's okay.
Bear with me.
It's okay. It's okay.
Bear with me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Bear with me. We've been metaphorically phrasing stuff all for this
Yeah.
2 hours,
But
and
that
here I
lets you-
am go literal out of nowhere. But I got it. I
Yeah,
got it.
I mean,
Yeah. It's. Oh, well, you finished.
I am.
Okay.
Please go on.
My
You still
thing-
building
my
over there?
thing-
You still
No, I'm
building?
done.
Okay.
The cement's still drying down.
Okay.
But it's like, let's just say something. Whatever. Just don't lie on the obituary. If
Other
people looking
relationship.
at it, see what it was. If you was there and you saw how the couple got down, you already know what the obituary is going to say. It's either going to it's going to be a good side, it's going to be a bad side, maybe shades of gray in the middle. Where, if it was always good, something's wrong. Because in nature, it's bad weather, what we call bad weather.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite sayings I came up with myself. Anyway, we can't expect sunny days in our relationships all the time.
I appreciate your analogy for shades of gray because people
Yeah.
don't think that there are, and there
Yeah.
are.
And I'm glad we named this, accountability, even though we specifically titled it female accountability, because it became a given that males are held accountable. Like this lady said, we need to hold males more accountable. Exactly.
How
That's
much more
the
do you want?
the face that you make, and you translate that face and your reaction into words that says, when are we not held accountable? If not by society and everything else out here, you.
The person you're in a
Everything.
relationship with.
But when it's time to do that balance, okay, now it's your turn to be held accountable. You see what she just did? While I was saying it,
I am sure
she did
perfection.
but that was
you
the
know.
natural. That's the natural reaction that a female would do. She shook her head. That's serious.
And how dare you point it out?
That
Ooh.
it was
That's
just
the other thing.
exactly,
Yeah, you pointed out.
exactly.
Yeah.
He thought she was coming from
No,
this
it
way.
wasn't.
I got that
No.
point. I got that
But
point.
no, but yeah, exactly. How dare you?
How dare
you
you?
pointing it out?
It's like you said, we've all three of us known each other for over 10 years. I like to use, crazy numbers. We've all known each other for a total of 967 years.
There you go.
Now, I've known you for like 75 and
Right.
known her the rest of them years,
Eons.
Yeah, before my son was born, came in the pit, anything. So, that accountability starts when you say stuff like, we need to talk.
Ooh.
That's the beginning of being held, of holding something accountable. or holding
AKA
someone.
nowadays, when a woman say that, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Everything is accountability.
You did
That's
not
why they're
pull
so
out in
good.
time,
That's why they're
and
so
You
good.
didn't. And see, you see what
Exactly.
you said? It's your fault. You did not pull out in time.
Well,
But see, that's today. Back in the day, it was the woman's fault for getting pregnant.
yeah,
The stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
true.
Woman can't get pregnant without
Without
you.
the man. Right. Yeah.
So, you think it's because now accountability has shifted because of generations now?
It's artificially shifted.
Ooh.
You can't really shift accountability.
That
It's
is so
in
hard.
everything we do.
Good way to title it.
That's why everything we do, we're held accountable. Everything they do, they know how to deviate away from it.
Weasel our way out of it.
And it's so innocent.
Give you a look. Give you a smile.
It's the
Sad
attraction,
story.
natural attraction powers from a woman is powerful. We can't get away from it. It's not designed that way. For those religious people, it's in there somewhere where it describes that. You cannot do it. She convinced him to eat the fruit. Convinced.
Right.
He had direct communication. She had third-party communication. I'm still for the religious people. Y'all know I'm not. But I was there, so I know these things. She had the third-party connection. he had the
The
direct connection. Somehow, the most powerful thing in existence that created them couldn't convince him more than her. So at that moment, I'm gonna be bold. Who was really God at that moment? Attraction powers, like she said. She gave him a little smile, a little laugh, probably gave him some more stuff. All you gotta do is bite this fruit. All this is yours.
Okay, but it's a conscious decision.
No hesitation in that bite.
You have to own up, though. I
Y-
mean,
yeah.
just because,
Yeah.
like I said, everything that looks good to you isn't good for you. Just because, I tell you all this is yours, just bite the fruit, doesn't mean that you have to do it.
Sorry.
Doesn't mean that you have to do it, but
I knew that was gonna be me one day. Much as shows as I watch, like, get out your daggone phone.
that's why I turned mine on.
And I
That's
just
what
thought
was
about
doing over
it.
there.
I just thought about it. I had to turn it off before the lyrics came in. Yeah, I'm still a ringtone person. So I like that. That's me.
Keep it original.
I hold myself. I owned up. That's
Hold
me.
yourself accountable for it.
Ain't no secret. I'm getting a call.
Okay, so since you guys wrapped that up, for me, I think the obituary or the overall eulogy of our relationship will say, it's what you give to make an effort, and in my effort, I gave all that I could. I could do more, but I felt that less was better. Because if I gave more, you would do more.
You would expect her to do more.
But all she could understand was less.
And that's where the disappointment comes in, because you start expectancies equal disappointment.
So that is the eulogy of a relationship, I believe, when accountability is enforced and not enforced. Because we have seen in this world today that a woman will do less for a man that has more. And a woman will do more for a man that has less. Because where he has less, he secures those certain things that's in her. But when he has some more, she has to secure things within her and in him that's not in her. So it's one of those things where, okay, so in this society today, the first thing a woman thinks about when it comes to a man in a relationship is a bag. Financially secure bag. Because a broke man will leave you with dreams.
That's why relationships are now business mergers.
But
And it don't matter what level. You could just be friends.
Well, even accountability, business mergers has accountability too, because before the deal goes left, you're going to be accountable that it's going left, and also you're going to be accountable that you already going to know your exit plan when it goes out, when you leave out. So the accountability is to see it where you have the time frame, the actual time frame of knowing, as some shape, form, or fashion, you have the ability to step up to make this better.
Right.
And when you account for that, it's hard for people to really understand that. It's knowing when to jump in and when to jump out. When to say, babe, we need to pause. Not break, but pause. We need to have that understanding of we need to talk.
Then you got to say it like that too.
Presentation is an issue.
Because pause means break on the assumption part.
Yes. Because,
I need space.
okay,
Just roll out.
that's cool. When you come back,
Just roll out.
before
don't need
you
space.
leave or when you come back, you're going to understand. I'm going to leave you with something to think about while you're gone. And when you come back, I'm going to have something waiting for you when you get back. It's going to be thoughts. The problem is it's the issue is presentation. We are so bent on, that's what I love about millennials and Generation X, is that we had the opportunity to see what it's like when something is presented correctly. When technology was booming, it had to be presented to us, because the first thing we had to understand about technology is that we're responsible how we use it.
Right.
Because it could be the thing that can destroy us or make us. And the same thing that has to be to what these kids today, in generation today, they don't understand if you do not pay attention and take accountable for how you use something, it could destroy you or it can make you.
You're going to pay for it.
You're definitely going to pay for it. And when you are moving forward with a relationship, it's not a dictatorship or a democracy. It's an understanding. We forget that no matter what we do, it's in everything we do, it's an understanding of why we're doing it. Because people today in relationships, they only do the why. They only want the how. But they never knew what we're supposed to do or what it really is. Because if you put all three together, you're going to get the answer to all of it. The why, the how, and the what. Because the when and where, that's the trick to it all. When did it get like this? And where did we go wrong?
I think everybody know where it started.
Do we?
They just don't want to own up to that
Yeah,
moment.
it is.
Because then you have to be held accountable
Accountable.
for you being the reason why.
Yes.
And that's why it was such a, is you know, you got to give the queen here her respect because she owned up. It was out of fear. Mine. That's accountability.
Yeah.
You got to hold it. It's almost that time.
Almost that time.
We just got it. See? Good conversation.
Yep. That's what it is.
Good conversations.
So on our next episode, we're going to talk about family. It's a deep topic when it comes to building your own relationships, having your own family, what family means to you, and where you stand within your own family. Like, not an identity of yourself, but the overall projective. Family is only as strong as you want it to be. So, I had a good podcast.